Hey YouTube, it's Jeff at Darkmoon Metals. Well, the seasons are changing. It's getting a little chillier up here in the Northeast as we approach Halloween, but that is not going to slow us down at all in the shop. If you watched my frequently asked questions video, I had mentioned that I have roughly 7,000 subscribers, or at least that's what I had at the time. And I said sometimes it almost feels like I have 7,000 business partners because I get a lot of good ideas and positive feedback and solid motivation from a lot of the people who leave comments on my channel. The last video I did was a ring making jig, and this is basically operated by hand. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. And one of the things that I mentioned as I was using this, I'm turning 36-inch welding rods with it, and I said I can't do a full coil right now because I don't have 36 inches of clearance all the way around my vise, just because I was kind of crammed in the shop that day. And one comment that I had received, and I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this right, but I will put the spelling on the screen, and I'm going to link you to his channel. It's Hirudin commented and said, could you clamp the wrench and rotate the jig? That way you wouldn't have to dodge the wire after each wrap. If the mandrel extended through the base of the jig, you could grab it with a drill chuck and easily go to town. Pretty good idea. So let me show you what I came up with based on his suggestion. Alright YouTube, so let me introduce you to the ring making Jig 2.0. And this one looks completely different, but it does the same exact thing. So I'll break it down for you, show you how I built it. Again, it's two pieces. This piece acts as the wrench, except this is mounted. This block is mounted in a vise. You can see all I did was drill an appropriate size hole for the rod that I wanted to use. I drilled another hole and I inserted a pin and just ground it down until it was the profile that I wanted, where it fit the wire nice and snug. The second part is almost exactly the same as this, except this is designed to fit in a drill. You could see that I've got the same shaft size, I've got the small hole, basically the same setup. So let me put this in the vise and show you how the new jig works. Before I demo how this jig works, I want to talk a little bit about the material that I'm using. In the last video I mentioned it's a 3/32 stainless steel welding wire. There are a few differences between manufacturers that you want to keep an eye out for. And I'm going to get real close to the camera, and I'm hoping this will focus. If I put it maybe up against my jacket, yeah, there you go. You can see the top one has a flat, and they stamp that with the dimension, the 3/32, and on the other side it is the ER 308L, lets you know what the material is made out of. Not all welding rods are manufactured that way. You can get them where they are completely straight, there's no stamp. You can't see it on this, but it's actually put on in ink what type of material this is and the dimension of the rod. If you do have the flat stamped onto your rod, you have to cut that off before you run it through the jig. And since they stamp this on either end of the rod, you're losing about 3 inches of material right off the bat before you even start the process. So I've taken the end that has the steel rod and I've mounted it inside of a cordless drill. I always try to orient the hole towards the bottom. It just seems to work out a lot easier that way. Take the welding rod, slip it into the hole, bend it to the side, seat it into the jig, and when you start off you want to go slow until you get the first wrap, and then you can pretty much just let go and pull the trigger. There you go. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a close-up view so you can get a better idea of how this is going to work. And it comes off just as easy as the original jig. Now obviously if you're working with material that's coming on a spool or it's longer than 36 inches, you can make this dowel as long as you want. One of the reasons why I did make this as long as I did, even though I am only planning on using the 36-inch rods, I just find that it has more stability as it's moving in and out of the jig. And you also want to have this long enough where if there is a little wobble over time, it's minimized by the length of the hole. The shorter this is, the more likely your drill is to move up and down. If I had made this another 2 inches longer, it would be rock solid. But I made up the difference. The slot that you see in the jig is taken up when the welding rod goes through, because it's just enough where it lifts the rod up and I get a nice smooth even motion. Well, YouTube, there you have it. The original jig done by hand might just be retired after this. As it stands now, because of the demonstrations, I have more jump rings than I really have pendants, so it might be a while before I even need to use the new one. Just want to take the time to thank Hirudin again. I'm terribly sorry if I am destroying your name, but I am going to have the link in the description to his page. Check him out. I just subscribed to him this morning, and I'm looking forward to see what else he has on his channel and what else he has to offer. Until my next video, this has been Jeff at Darkmoon Metals. Take care. I will see you again soon.